Trudeau's transparency, not all it's cracked up to be. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. Justin Trudeau promised all through the election and ever since that he's going to be transparent. To him, it's all about transparency.
We need a level of transparency.
Increase the openness and transparency. I have been open and transparent. I raised the bar on transparency and openness and transparency.
Of course, every time he says that, I'm reminded of one of my favorite movies.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Thankfully, some of the other media are starting to clue in that it's a lot of words for him, but there's no meaning behind those words. Case in point, Patrick Kane. He's a reporter with Global out of Toronto. He works on ATIPs, he works on documents. He's an investigative type journalist that digs into materials. But that requires getting materials from governments, and governments never want to give up information unless they have to. It's an age-old game. But look at what Kane was tweeting out about the current government versus the last one, the one led by Mean Steve Harper and the Conservatives. He said, "I can say that ATIP is no better under this government, possibly worse than under the last one. 90-day extensions, unexplained delays, lots of 180-day extensions on basic stuff that should be easy to release." We've been beating this drum for a while. Earlier this year, we documented before the Access to Information Committee that we had 74 different files that had 45, 90, 180-day extensions, some 300-day extensions. This has been an ongoing problem, and we've also had them not release material that should have been released. Think of the manifest of who was actually on the plane with Justin Trudeau. Well, first they said the nanny and the in-laws weren't, then they said they were. We've had other changes made after the fact. We've had them deny that a refugee questionnaire exists. Then they said, well, it does exist, but you can't have it. You should at least be saying it exists and you can't have it, not that it doesn't exist when we know it does because government officials have talked about it openly. But this is the new sunny way, isn't it? And of course, there is my favorite, the one that came along with so many of the access to information requests that we put in on how they were handling the refugee rush. You remember this one, don't you? Also, it is to be noted at this point of the process, the department is working to meet the mandate on Syrian refugees set by the Prime Minister of Canada. That was the excuse given by Helen Bertrand, the ATIP administrator at Citizenship and Immigration Canada. We're working on something for the Prime Minister, so we can't be bothered to adhere to the pesky law that says we have to give you an answer within 30 days. This is a government that talks about transparency, but like that clip from Princess Bride, they keep using that word, but I really don't think it means what they think it means. Now, just to give you another example of a lack of transparency that has nothing to do with ATIP, this was from a couple of weeks ago. Post Media had a story on all the Facebook ads that the Liberals are currently running, and they're actually spending more on Facebook than Harper and the Conservatives did in over several years in less than a year. And that was without CBC's numbers. See, the opposition parties used to ask the Conservatives how much they spent on Facebook ads, and they would release all the government departments, including CBC. The Liberals won't release the CBC information anymore. So much for openness, so much for transparency, so much for sunny ways. But at least people like Patrick Kane now know the truth and aren't being fooled by Justin Trudeau's smiling face and fawning words anymore. Hey, if you like what you just saw, make sure you never miss a Rebel video again. Click subscribe for our YouTube channel or head on over to the Rebel.media and become a member. You'll be able to access premium content only members can get.